morning, Year 1 and Year 2. Welcome back to English Lessons Live with me, Mr. Phillips. I'm on a brand new computer today, which is why everything looks slightly different, why the video doesn't have the normal picture and stuff like that. So you'll just have to forgive the things that don't look quite normal. Today, it's our final writing session. It's half-term holidays. Next week, we start a new pack, and that's the end of English Lessons Live with me, Mr. Phillips. So it's our final writing lesson. Tomorrow we will have a final reading lesson because it is our last writing session. I am here today to set you a final writing challenge, okay? And it's going to hopefully use loads of the skills that you've had and built up over the last few weeks, okay? So let's get started with this challenge. So you can see here on my screen that I have given you a whole grid of different emotions. Let's move me slightly out of the way here and scroll down. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's all of them there. So we've got happy, sad, upset, angry, confused, cheerful, worried, anxious, scared, tired, excited, frustrated, surprised, shy, sleepy, embarrassed, nervous, silly, disappointed, curious, kind, and grumpy. I've given you all of these examples of different emotions in our grid today. Your final writing challenge is to write me some sentences that show, not tell, these emotions, okay? Now, what that means, show, not tell, is, for example, if a character in our story felt, let's say, cheerful, we don't want to say he felt cheerful, because that is telling our audience how they feel. That's not showing it, okay? And the reason we don't want to tell is because if we say he felt cheerful, she felt anxious, they felt shy, it gets a little bit boring after a while. So we want to show our audience how they feel rather than just tell them. So cheerful, have a little think. If someone is cheerful, and you might use the picture to help you out a little bit, what do they do to show you that they are cheerful? Well, one thing is their mouth might go into a massive grin, their eyes might light up, they might become really bouncy. All of those things show you how that person feels, and you don't have to tell them. So we could say, suddenly his face, his mouth grew into a huge grin, and his eyes became bright with excitement. Okay, there you go. And that way, I've also got a bit of excited in there as well, rather than just saying he felt cheerful, which is telling our audience. This is telling. I am showing my audience. Suddenly, his mouth grew into a huge grin and his eyes became bright with excitement. Okay? Should we do another example? What about scared? If you're scared, what happens? What do you do? Rather than saying, oh, he felt scared, how could we show that a character is scared? Well, things like you start to shake and maybe your knees start to tremble, and sometimes you go pale, don't you? Go white on the face. So we could try some of those. We could say his hands began to shake and his face went a pale white. There we go. His hands began to shake and his face went a pale white. That tells us, no, doesn't it? It shows us how the character's feeling rather than just telling us that he felt scared, okay? And this is your writing challenge today. What I'd like you to do is to pick 5 of these emotions, and you create a showing sentence just like this. A showing sentence about how you could show that emotion rather than tell that emotion. okay? And you're going to do this independently, okay? And the way I would set it out is if you chose, for example, to do scared, you'd write scared and maybe a little title, and maybe you could underline it, and then underneath you would write your sentence, and then you'd do your next one. And maybe if you did sad for your next one, you would then underline that and you'd write your sad sentence. So what happens when we feel sad? Well, great, we could say, great big tears started to roll down her face. And what else happens when you feel sad? Great big tears start to roll down her face, and her bottom lip stuck out in a sulk. So I pull that face, bottom lip stuck out in a sulk. So that is instead of saying she felt sad. So you can see I've got the emotion there and the showing sentence underneath. Okay, and you're going to try and create 5 of those. Now, obviously you can keep coming back to this video to see the chart. I've also put on for you, where's it gone now? Probably slipped onto a different page. Now it's not very clear, it's a little bit blurry. Might try and make it a little bit bigger. But here are some ideas. If you get a bit stuck with your emotion, for example, if you picked sad, for example, we could come to this column here: tears in eyes, trembling lips, head hanging low, shaky quiet voice, dragging feet, lips turned down. It could give you a couple of ideas to get started. So you can go to this chart and you can collect a few ideas if you are struggling, okay? And like I said, your challenge is to select 5 of the emotions from the list above, from this here, and come up with 5 show, not tell sentences for those emotions. That is your writing challenge for today, okay? Now, because it's a writing challenge, I would like everyone who takes part to send me their work, okay? And you can send me your work here, rsa.year6@3-saints.org.uk. And if you put in the subject title Year 1 and Year 2 Writing Challenge, it will definitely get straight to me, okay? And then I can have a little look at all the challenges, I'll put them together, and I might select a couple to put out on the social media. Okay, so that is our challenge. Use everything that we've had a little look at over the past couple of weeks, but especially the character descriptions when we've been, for example, building up sentences in more than 2 sentences, so building up descriptions in more than 2 sentences, where we've been having a simple sentence and trying to make it bigger and better. Try and include all of those things, okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow for your reading challenge. See you later, guys.